Hey everyone, my name is Katie Otto. I'm the Director of Christian Education at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. I'm here this morning with Shawn McCohen, a licensed professional counselor with Standard Cross Counseling. And he counsels here at Emmanuel a couple times a week. And we today are going to sit down and chat a little bit about some of the stigma behind mental health care and why people may be hesitant to seek out that type of assistance. So good morning, Shawn.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
I was curious. We know that mental health has gained traction recently. It's becoming more widely talked about. What are some of the most common reasons that you hear as a professional of why people hold off on seeking out mental health?
Well, it's a really good question. It's one of the first ones that we have to face. And mental health hasn't been seen as the same validity or same importance as, say, physical health. I've seen 100 times, talked 100 times. If you break an arm, you think you broke your arm, you see a doctor. But if you think something's broken in your thought processing or something you're understanding in a way that troubles you, you don't want to talk to somebody who understands how your brain works. So hopefully we create an atmosphere here or in Christian counseling anywhere really, where we know we're endearing to them their sense of spirit and sense of self. And so it becomes less of a personal pride issue, which is usually the basis of it. It's pride. And when we can overcome that, I don't need help, I don't want help, we realize, well, if you think something is broken and not working right, you might actually need that help. We love to do it.
So one of the things that I have heard many times is people, particularly in Christian circles, feel or have somehow been given the impression that having a mental health challenge or struggle is a sign of having a weak faith. You have such a passion for the spiritual side of mental health. So how would you encourage, someone who's wrestling with that idea?
Well, I would say join the club. We all have a weakness in faith at some point. To think that my faith is so strong, my decision making in my spirit is so strong that I don't need anyone else is actually against God calling us to be together, giving us purposes. If somebody is great at making cakes, you're not going to hire them to build your house. It's going to be a house of cakes. So if we're called to serve where somebody's spirit is struggling, then it's not a helpful argument to say my spirit is struggling, but it's weak of me to find someone to help me with my spirit.
Sure. Much like our physical health, right? Like if our physical health is struggling, we find someone to help us with that.
Absolutely.
So then one other thing along this subject that I've been thinking about a lot recently is the idea of intervention versus prevention. And we certainly know that there are opportunities to seek out care as an intervention when a problem already exists. How about mental health care in terms of prevention? Like when we know that the current situation that we're living in is heavy, how can we use a mental health professional to help prevent us from struggling through that?
That's a really great question. It actually is emerging now. It's existed for a while, but it's emerging now in a lot of places. For example, premarital counseling is prevention. We're trying to make sure that the relationship and the marriage is set up God's way. It's going to run God's way, and the people in it are focused on God's purposes together. So that's preventing somebody going to divorce counseling later on. Hopefully, no one's perfect. Nothing goes perfectly, but that's preventive. We also have a lot of counselors that are hired as life coaches, where it's a daily thing. I'm trying to make this decision in my career. I'm trying to make this decision in this friendship, and I'm trying to decide where I should go, physically, geographically, or on a mission trip. And they seek us as life coaches. So yes, a lot of it can be proactive and preventive in other problems. We're not going to prevent every problem. The Bible says several different places, Jesus said himself, temptations will come and troubles will come. So there's no doubt we'll have those troubles, but can we get in front of as many as possible?
Sure. Yeah, I know just even from my own experience, I have a tendency to diagnose my own problems. Like, here's what I'm struggling with, and here's why, and here's how I'm going to fix it. And then I eventually get help with that, or talk to someone, and they help me to see that, oh, the problem is actually over here. So how do we keep you from getting to here? And so I know that that's been really helpful for me.
And
So
they're the most rewarding for us, obviously, as counselors, because somebody's not coming in saying this is already broken. They're coming in saying, I want to make it right in the first place. What a joy to know somebody wants to come in and do that. And that experience is coaching people with life decisions and career decisions and setting up new relationships and boundaries, especially if they're coming out of an unhealthy family or, you know, emerging in the world as a young adult. How do I do these things differently than my family? There's really a huge sense of God's purpose and reward, as even for us as counselors, and walking through that. We know how many situations we're avoiding by doing that in the first place.
Sure. So we just wanted to encourage you and give you some more information on why seeking mental health care is an okay thing. Why it doesn't have to be scary or bad or seen as weak or anything like that. So as we continue on with this video series then and get into some maybe specific challenges and struggles that you might be facing, we hope that you would find them beneficial, but also maybe would be encouraged to seek out some assistance with those things. Just as a reminder, if there's anything specific that you would like us to talk about with Shawn, contact any of us in the church office, and we would be happy to sit down with him and talk about those things.
And you don't have to describe them or how they are affecting you personally. They can be an anonymous idea from you. Obviously, people are usually interested in all the same things. If you think that the situation you're going to ask about is unique to yours, it is unique to you, but the problem's not unique. We've dealt with anything and everything. So give us ideas. We can come up with our own, but it would be a lot more entertaining and a lot more beneficial and probably serve a lot more if we know that you're sending us the ideas and we're putting them into discussion here.
Yeah. So blessings to you as you go about your week.
God bless.